Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So I thought I'd put together a pedal board video, just showing the pedals I use, the way I use them, just to show you, hopefully give you an idea of what I do to get some of the John Mayer sounds that you may have heard on my channel. So as you can see, this is my pedal board in its entire form, except for a wah pedal, which I haven't attached, which I didn't feel was necessary, and you can find many videos online. It's just a standard Dunlop Crybaby, you can see here, fairly standard, running off of a battery. So you can see, guitar runs straight into the first pedal, which in the line is the DOD Shoe Pedals Looking Glass overdrive. I don't use the tuner in my signal chain because I don't like the sound of it. I'm going to change that. So I'm thinking of a TZ Electronic Polytune that I should replace this with. So yeah, that's going to go soon. But yeah, so the signal goes straight into, guitar goes straight into the Looking Glass overdrive, which is a fairly transparent overdrive, and you have some EQ controls that you can use to shape it. But it sounds like a normal tube amp cranked, which I really like. You can put it at like the edge of breakup of an amplifier, which I really like as well. That's how I usually have it set up. Some of the bass and treble rolled off to give it that mid hump. So I'm trying to imitate a clon essentially with this, but I think I like the sound of this better than a clon. So, but I'll maybe swap out with a clone type pedal sometime. So yeah, the signal goes into this, then it runs into the Ibanez TS9DX, which is like a normal TS9 but just beefed up a little bit. So it has 4 modes, the normal TS9 mode, the plus mode, hot and turbo, which all of them just add more bass and volume and kind of fix the problems that you would normally have with the TS9, you know, with the high roll off on the treble and the bass. So these kind of help with that. I usually don't use them, so I just put it in the normal TS9 mode and use it that way. It is modified slightly, so I changed the resistors on the output section to make it a TS808 in the TS9 mode. So, which is a fairly standard mod. Convert a TS9 into a TS808 sound. You just change some of the resistors. And then I did some other mods on it to get it as close as possible to the Keeley modded TS9 sound, which doesn't change the core sound of the TS9, it just makes it a little bit more useful, I think, and slightly different, but I like the sound of it, so I did the mods. And the signal then goes into the Q-Tron Plus, this one over here. That's where I have it set up, fairly standard, unmodified. Then goes into the MXR Analog Chorus, again unmodified, and then the Carbon Copy in the end, MXR Carbon Copy. And finally into the Ditto Looper, Ditto X2 Looper, and then into my amplifier. So I'm using my Fender Strat with the 5762 pickups, running into the slightly modified Fender Blues Junior III. And this is what it sounds like without any pedals on the neck pickup. So yeah, fairly standard clean sound. I can put it on the neck and middle position for the slow dancing. and bridge position for that vultures thing. So yeah, that's all of it clean. I don't know why there's a buzz in the amplifier. Maybe some interference going on somewhere. Yeah, so actually with the vultures thing, I usually put on the delay, which is the way it's set up is a slapback delay with 1 repeat. So yeah, forgot to mention, it's being powered by a Truetone Spot Pro CS7, I think is the full name. But yeah, check it out online. I think it's an isolated power supply or whatever they're called. And it has 7 outputs, which all of them are being used on 6 pedals, not 7 pedals. So this is not being powered by the power supply, and the reason for it is because the Q-Tron Plus, as you can probably see, it takes a 24 volt center positive, which is a very unstandard power requirement. So 2 ports on my CS7 are being used to power the Q-Tron Plus because that's the way it has to be set up. So I guess let's start in sequence with the way the pedals are laid out. So we'll start off with the Looking Glass. You might note that all of the volumes on the pedals, especially the drive pedals, are set fairly low, and it's because I'm sitting in my house and I don't want to wake up the neighbors. So yeah, the volumes are slightly low, but the gains are set, especially on the Looking Glass. In fact, that's the only one where the gain is a little bit high, but the only reason is just because I want to keep the volumes down. So yeah, so this is how the first one sounds. This is without, and this with. So I rarely use sound on it in its isolation. Well, I say rarely, but I do use it quite often, in fact. And yeah, it's a fairly clean overdrive. There's not much going on, as you can probably hear. It's like an amplifier on the very edge of slightly breaking up, which is the sound I like because I like my sounds clean mostly. So this I would use for, let's say, the solo on vultures. So if I'm playing with the delay on, actually I do use the this pedal, the Looking Glass, with my Ibanez AS93, which is like a ES335 equivalent, and it sounds really good with this pedal for your sort of Ain't No Sunshine sound. Ain't No Sunshine. Let me try and demonstrate that for you. So that's with it clean. I think I might have to turn the gain down a little bit on the pedal, the way I usually set it, but we'll see. This is without and this is with. That's with the Ain't No Sunshine, and then you go to the solo and then you put on the TS9. So yeah, that's my sort of Ain't No Sunshine sound right there. Quick little tangent onto my other guitar. So I'm going to switch back now. Let me try this. Yeah, and we're back to the Strat. So yeah, that's sort of, you could use it as a always on type of pedal. That's also fine. I have used it sometimes like that, you know, when switching between the Strat and the, let's call it the 335 for argument's sake, between the Strat and the 335, because they differ in volume quite drastically. So, so I sometimes keep this on all of the time to, you know, to make it sound equally as loud. Soft and soft. You have heard briefly the TS9, and yeah, the way I have it set is the drive is a little bit low, tone is fairly high, level again I said just to keep the volumes down in the room. But yeah, on its own it sounds like this. So yeah, got carried away there, but yeah, that's the TS9 on its own. You can see you're able to play the human nature thing on it. And yeah, before I get on to the next one, next pedal, I would like to point out that your volume pot on your guitar, volume knob, is fairly important in sounding a bit like John Mayer and controlling your sounds on the fly, because you don't want to be bending down and changing the controls on your pedals that much. So changing the volume on your guitar is very important to learn. So let's take the TS9 for example, with the volume all the way on, as you have heard previously. But if you turn the volume down to, let's say, 8, it's a lot cleaner. In fact, this is I think closer to the human nature sort of sound. So volume on 8 and the neck and middle position. So, you know, a little bit of breakup when you dig in, but mainly it's clean and very nasally, because all of the bass and treble has been rolled off, which I think is the sound for human nature. And yeah, so for the rest of the pedals, I will be leaving the volume on 10, just so you can hear it properly. But I usually have my volumes at 8.5, maybe 8, you know, sometimes at 10, but mainly rolled down a little bit. So it's good that I mentioned the volume pot now, and because the next pedal, the Q-Tron Plus, it will depend quite heavily on your volume pot and your playing dynamics, because it's a very sensitive envelope filter, and especially if you're using it the way I use it for I Don't Trust Myself, you have to be comfortable with your volume control on your guitar, and it's just to make it work with your own playing dynamics, so you don't have to play softly for I Don't Trust Myself all of a sudden when you're switching to that song. You can just turn the volume down on your guitar and it becomes less sensitive. So I'll show you how that works. When you set up the sound for, I'm going to be demonstrating the Q-Tron Plus with the I Don't Trust Myself sound. I'm not going to go into the Wildfire and all of those like Born and Raised sounds, or even Rosie, I think. So this is with the volume on 10, just the Q-Tron Plus. As you can see, nothing is happening, and the reason I have it set up, let me turn this to band pass. I like having it on band pass, I think, than low pass, because it's too boomy. And yeah, you can see, even with the volume at 10 and me digging in quite hard, it isn't opening up the filter too much, and the only reason I have it set up is because I use it in conjunction with the TS9. On its own, the Q-Tron has a sound, you know, and some people like it, some people don't, but I use it just for the I Don't Trust Myself sound. I do use it for other things where I don't use the TS9 in conjunction with it, but for the I Don't Trust Myself sound, you have to have, or I think you have to have the TS9 with it. So. And immediately, with the TS9, you noted I turned the volume up to unity. I say unity, but 12 o'clock. and it's just a way I've set the gain and the peak up from the Q-Tron. So these two work together. So I've turned it on, and immediately it's quite a lot more sensitive, and I don't have to dig in too much for the envelope to open. So yeah, that's a rosy kind of sound. But yeah, those sounds are very sensitive. They open up the envelope too much. Not too much, but a lot more than the I Don't Trust Myself sound. And the Q-Tron Plus on its own is a very sensitive pedal. So even if you do use it without the TS9 and you pump up the gain, you'll see that it's actually, let's try that. So do that. I'm going to try and imitate the I Don't Trust Myself sound, and you'll see that it doesn't work. For my ears, it doesn't work with just the Q-Tron on it. So let's try the low pass. This isn't opening it up, so let's pump it up a little bit more. Again, even higher. I'm going to put it on the band pass because it's becoming a little bit boomy in the room. So I don't know how it's coming across on my camera, but in the room it's very, when you listen to the record versus what I'm hearing now through the amplifier, it's very bright. I can hear quite a lot of the string, even in the low pass mode. In fact, I can hear quite a lot of the string in the envelope filter, and it's very dynamic. So I'm having to play it very carefully. So imagine doing that in a live gig where you want to sound closest to the song. So even if you're not on a live gig, even if you want to just make it sound closer to that, I put the TS9 on mainly to control the dynamics, because the TS9 is a very compressed pedal. It does add that sort of drive-esque sound to the Q-Tron as well, but which kind of makes the envelope filter a little bit more mellow, and not as duck quacky, which it sounds like right now without the TS9 on. So with the TS9 on, it will control the dynamics because it's compressed. It will add a little bit of drive, very little drive to the envelope sound. And then once you have that on, you can then use your volume control on your guitar to then suit to your own playing style. So let's start with the gain back where it was. I have the boost on, and that's just because the gain pot then acts as a volume pot as well if you have the boost on. Again, is just to keep the volume down in the room. So yeah. So the envelope isn't opening up. We put the TS9 on. So because of the high-end roll-off on the TS9, it's immediately removed that metallic string sound in the envelope filter, and that's the way I like it. And then I've been playing it with the volume on 10 throughout this, and with the TS9 on and the Q-Tron on. so pedal wise, I am where I want to be. It's a little bit too sensitive. So I'm going to turn the guitar volume down to around about 8, which take care for my playing style. So yeah, this is the sound I use for I Don't Trust Myself. So yeah, and then by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm on the neck and middle position, neck and middle pickup position for the I Don't Trust Myself sound. And yeah, with the TS9 on, it's good because then when you have to play the solo, so let's do that. You just turn off the Q-Tron and you have a little bit of a drive sound for your solo, which sounds pretty good. And you'll note that it's not as drivey as you have been hearing previously, and that's because your volume is down to 8. Sorry, my volume is down to 8, which has removed some of the drive. So on 10 it would have been this, which isn't as clean. So on 8, with the I Don't Trust Myself sound, I guess everything kind of works together, and you have all of the sounds to play. So yeah, that is how I use the TS9 and the Q-Tron Plus. The chorus pedal, I don't think John Mayer uses this chorus pedal or uses a chorus pedal all that often. I have it because I just needed some form of modulation. Sorry, other than the envelope filter, obviously. So yeah, fairly standard chorus. sound. Or was that the way I play Assassin? Is not the way it's played on record. What else do I use the chorus for? I use it for the message in a bottle sound. So yeah, that was on the middle pickup. Yeah, that's my chorus sound. The delay, I use it a couple of different ways. One is a slapback, which you've heard already. So I believe John Mayer kind of keeps his slapback always on. I use it and not. Sometimes I vary between it. So yeah, vultures is the way I use it. So yeah, that was my vulture sound. And then finally, the other sound I use the delay for is, I guess I use it on I Don't Trust Myself as a very long delay. So just put the delay up here. I think that's where it is. Let me check here. So yeah, that's the other way I use my delay. Reach all the way up, mix, delay. Try that, I think that's the vultures. Wrong pickup. Apologies for the sloppy playing. And yeah, I think another thing I forgot to mention was stacking the drive pedals, which try and find a pick. Where's a pick when you need it? Screw it. Okay. So yeah, that's the sort of his, most driviest sounds that John Mayer uses. So you'll note that his amplifiers are pretty clean, high headroom amps, and all of his drive, I believe all of his drive, he uses from his pedals. So, he would have his clone/boost type pedal on with a light overdrive, and then stack it with the TS9 to get that belief kind of solo sound or something like that, so this is where it would be before. And then you would stack the TS9 on top and you'd get this. the heaviest sound I use with these two pedals. The loop pedal, fairly standard. Looper, I don't think I need to demonstrate it, but I use it for jamming at home when I'm just playing, so you know. That's the loop running. So yeah, I mistimed the loop a little bit. It was slower in the beginning and quicker at the end. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of my pedals. Let me just reset that. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Quickest way to reach me is my comment section. I read that fairly regularly. And yeah, go ahead and make your own sounds, guys. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Again, any questions, let me know. And we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.